This video will focus on how to set up a master notebook within OneNote. Remember, you should have a Microsoft account and you should have downloaded the OneNote app to your computer before beginning this module. I want to start out by saying that there are many ways to use and to set up your notebook, but today I'm demonstrating a setup strategy that works best for me personally. This module will give you the basics. Once you understand this methodology, you'll be able to modify or adapt the setup to suit your individual needs. Let's begin. Assuming you've already signed into your Microsoft account, the first thing you'll want to do is open the OneNote app. I have it open here already on my screen. If you're using a Windows device, I select right-clicking on the application and pinning it to your toolbar or another place where you can easily access it. I'm modeling this OneNote setup on a Mac. To open it, I simply went to my toolbar. I already have the OneNote app pinned. I opened it up, and this is the first thing that I see. Now that your application is open, let's take a look at what you should see. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new notebook. As I said, I'm already in a notebook that is created for you, so you can see how everything is laid out. We'll come back to this later. So to create a new notebook, go up to the top section here next to these tabs. It's a navigation tab that sort of look like slanted books on a shelf. Right now, you can see that I'm in Ing2 Master. If you click down on that, it's going to bring up all of the notebooks that you have. You have two options. So in my organization, I already have a notebook made for me, or you can create a totally new notebook and share it with the audience of your choice. I'm going to work within the notebook that I already have available to me. If I wanted to add the notebook, I could simply click it and I can pick a recent notebook or I can select a new notebook. So I've opened the notebook within my organization and you can see there's a blank screen. Nothing has been set up yet. If you wanted to create a new notebook, you can name it whatever it is that you would like to name it. Again, mine is already named. So the next thing that we're going to need to do is begin to build our sections and organize its parts. So if you look toward the bottom of the screen, you're going to see it says add section and it says add page. Right now, add page can't be clicked on because I don't currently have any sections. So I can simply click add section. And right now it's titled new section 1. If I'm working in a school or I'm working in the corporate world, it's all the same here. I simply just need to decide on what my sections will be. So let's assume that I'm working in a corporate environment. I might name this section employee training. Perhaps this is where I create and organize all the employee trainings that need to be pushed out for the onboarding process. So once you type in the new name here, you can click off of it for it to save. And you can see I've created a section. If I want to add another section, I can quickly select add section. And I can do the same thing. I can create a name for it here. Here might be employee, I might just change this to say incentives. If I have an employee incentives program, I can build that within this tab here. These tabs are movable. You can stack them or change the order or the color as you wish. Think of this just like a regular notebook with binder tabs, only now it is digital. And then once you have these sections built, you're gonna want to add pages. So if I'm in employee training here, you can see there's already a page that's untitled here. To give it a name, I'm simply gonna click on this blank part and I'm gonna give it a name. Maybe it is October training. You can type it in, you can see the name has changed in the page section. Likewise, I can add another page. Maybe this is a special training. Can type in the name and you can see how that's generated in the page section as well. And you can see these are only available in the employee training section. If I click onto incentives, those pages are gone because they're now organized in this section of the notebook. Just like before, I can drag and drop them to change the order if I so desire. So I'm going to go back to my classroom example really quickly, just in case I have any teachers watching and you are interested in looking at how a classroom example is laid out. So I've simply clicked back to the Honors English 2 notebook here, and you can see that this teacher notebook is arranged by units. So if I click collection 1 or unit 1, there's a whole lot of pages here, and that's because this encompasses all of the activities, the lessons, and the readings that were done within unit 1. If I click to unit 5, which is the unit that my students are currently on, there are only 5 pages because we're only about 3 to 5 days into the unit. So there's a lesser amount of pages here. The thing that is great about this is if you are a teacher from year to year, or you're working on a semester block, once you build out this notebook, this master copy will remain for you so that you can continue to use this notebook and edit it. And once you make any edits, you can push these notebook pages, copy them into the new notebook, and push them out for your students even after your current semester or year finishes. So it is a great way to organize yourself. Forget about the filing cabinet. Forget about all of those hard binders that take up so much space. OneNote makes everything easy. Everything is with one click. I can show you an example here of collection 6. I have some grammar work. Looks like I had a substitute this day, so I left substitute notes for my students. They were able to simply click in the notebook like their normal routine, and the directions are right here for them. We had some background information here. All the directions are here at the top. You can see each page looks differently. This one actually houses text. Here is another example. And if I click down here, you can see an example of a poem. I've organized the pages here for my students to analyze the poem. Here, there's pictures, videos, and activities ingrained right on the page. And there's an annotation key here for the students as well. So there are just so many options if you are a classroom teacher or if you're in the corporate world. So I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and pause the video now so that you can take a moment to try to create and set up your notebook and its parts. I'm not expecting you to create any serious content, not necessarily that you're building these pages as mine are already built out, but just to simply go ahead and create a notebook. Remember, you're adding a new notebook here. If your organization doesn't already provide you with a notebook like mine does, you simply add the notebook, give it a name, and then what you'll see, as I just demonstrated for you, you're going to add a section, add as many sections as you want. Remember, this is your master copy, so nothing you do is permanent. You can always delete it, go back and change things, but start to build out some sections that you think you might want to see in your notebook. And once you build out some sections, think about maybe some pages that might belong in those sections. Get a feel for how it works. So go ahead and pause the video here now, and we'll revisit in just a moment. Welcome back. To review, your notebook should be named, set up, and organized into sections. The name is at the top here. Again, if you want to change that, you can select Add Notebook and add a completely new notebook. I'm just using the one that is already preset for my organization. You're going to build out those sections that you think you might use and add any applicable pages. Before I send you off to take the quiz for this module, I want to show you how you can quickly and easily share your notebook for collaboration if you wish to do so. I've set my notebook up so that this is my private master, but if I share my notebook with a colleague, we can both work in the notebook I created at the same time. This is very much like how collaboration works in programs like Google Docs or Microsoft Word Online. So how that works is you simply go up to the top corner here and select Share. You're going to get the typical sharing conditions that are given to you if you're using either Google Docs or Microsoft Word Online or a similar program. So you can see here, this is the notebook that I'm working in. It's asking me to send the link. You need to change the permission. So you can set it so that anyone that you send the link to can view your notebook. You can change it so that they are collaborators. If you only want people in your organization, which I would suggest if you're working in the corporate world or in education, you would go ahead and select your organization. You would apply that, and you're going to want to change it so that they can edit, which is a very, very important step. You're going to select copy, and then you can simply send an email with this link, or you can email it to them directly within the program. Once you decide whether or not to add a collaborator to your notebook, you can then proceed to take the quick quiz review of what we discussed in this module. In the next module, we'll discuss how to create content within OneNote. Thanks for watching part 2.